27, Kalia Moore. Number 29, Rhiannon McDonald-Gay. And wearing number 19, Danny
And a very good afternoon to you. Welcome along to the county ground here in Beckenham, where the South East Stars are entertaining the Lancashire Thunder. We are, of course, watching the Charlotte Edwards Cup, and we're very much looking forward to some live action, which is just about to get underway. The news from the middle: the South East Stars have won the toss and elected to field, and it's a pleasure to be with you on the South East Stars YouTube channel on the live stream as we get ready for this fixture against Thunder. South East Stars making one change from their last outing. Alice Davidson-Richards comes back into the side. It's Bryony Smith, Sophia Dunkley, Paige Schofield, Alice Davidson-Richards, Phoebe Franklin, Eilish Cranstone, Tash Farrant, Chloe Hill, Kalia Moore, Rhianna McDonald-Gay and Danny Gregory. Emma Jones is acting as 12th. Lancashire Thunder: Lamb, Morris, Smale, Threlkeld the captain, and wicketkeeper Collins, Lister, Heap, Norris, Jackson, Graham and Jones, with Clark as the 12th. 3 additional changes for Lancashire Thunder. The wicket is very, very impressive by the look of it. It looks like it's going to be a good scorer, and the good news is the weather is set fair as well. Delighted to say that Michael McCann is alongside myself, Jamie Rees, and for the first 5 overs you'll hear the dulcet tones of Michael.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Yeah, probably a pitch by all accounts where you want the best part of 200, and the South East Stars have decided to win the toss and bowl. Those 3 changes for Thunder: Liberty Heat, the explosive batter and handy off spinner, has come in. Laura Jackson has come in, as has Tara Norris with her whippy left arm fast medium, and that has brought a different look to a Thunder side without the likes of Kate Cross and Sophie Eccleston. No Mahika Gore as well, and they'll be focused on putting a good score on the board. 2 sides still feel confident. Western Storm defeated by the South East Stars by just 4 runs. The Stars defending a low total of 132 back on Sunday the 19th of May in their first game. On the same day, in the closest thing women's cricket gets to White Rose versus Red Rose in the regional setup, Thunder won by 8 wickets, chasing 109 against the Northern Diamonds at Emirates Old Trafford. So both sides with 1 win from 1. 10 games in this group stage. You face 4 teams just once, you play 3 teams twice, slightly unusual format in that sense. And after those 10 games, the top 4 go to the semi-finals. 1st versus 4th, 2nd versus 3rd. It is match day 2 for both of these sides. Tash Farrant is ready. Bowl from left arm over the wicket, tends to get a little bit of nip back into the right-hander. Emma Lamb ready to face. Phoebe Morris at the non-striker's end. And we're all just about set to get underway here. A deep third and a deep square leg. The 2 out with a 5-4 offside field. And here comes the first ball of the game. Back of a length and guided nicely out to deep cover by Lamb for 1. Nice confident start from Emma Lamb. Brings Fee Morris onto strike. Fee Morris in her opening the batting era. Those who've followed Thunder, including on pre-season, won't have been too surprised. Commentated on her smashing a Karnataka 11 around in that opening role, and was talking afterwards about how she enjoyed the freedom that it gave to attack in the power play. But Morris is left just probing at that one. Very nicely bowled from Farrant. Pretty unforgiving opening the bowling in T20 on a flat pitch like this, but the new ball will do a little bit early on.
Yeah, I think it's just going to nibble around, and you can see Tash Farrant just saying that she wanted to find that outside edge. She didn't, but it wasn't for the want of trying. Decent crowd in place. We can see the grandstand directly opposite us starting to fill up. Reminder that it is free entry.
Back of a length and just worked by Morris. Deep square leg charges in to avoid the prospect of a second. Pretty big boundaries all round here at Beckenham. There's no particular short side to target as such. And we're on one of the very most middle of the wickets in the square, which also contributes to that lack of any short side, but pristine outfield of course, and you'll certainly get value for shots on it. back of a length, and Lamb just respects that one. Emma Lamb, who has 14 England appearances, a couple in the Test arena, 1 in the T20I and 11 ODIs, was on the England A tour of New Zealand this winter, and does already have a ton this season, 107 against Sparks. That's in a game that Thunder ended up losing by 3 wickets, having posted 284, and a big opening partnership with Seren Smell. So that's orthodox from Lamb for now, pushing out into the covers. Fielded by Schofield, who could well be handy with the ball later on. One nice thing, one real luxury for Stars here is they have so many bowling options.
They really do, yep.
So packed full of all-rounders. Of course, Alice Davison-Richards is back in today as well. Handy addition in that regard, more than handy. Gain back of a length, hit hard and sort of half stopped in there, and that allowed the possibility of the single. Committed dive from Phoebe Franklin, but she didn't quite know where the ball was for a second. So end of the first over, very tidy one from Farrant, just 3 singles off it, 3 without loss.
Lamb took a couple of quick steps to get to the pitch of the ball and then drilled it into the surface, made it difficult for the fielder in short on that leg side, using that bottom hand just to turn it round the corner. But a good first over up front from Tash Farrant. She'll be delighted to have not contributed a boundary and only gone for those 3 singles.
Is that our camera angle shows as well, a little bit of a slope there, that Farrant was bowling slightly up when bowling left arm around. Now Phoebe Franklin from our end of the ground, the Crystal Palace end, will look to take the ball away going down that slope. Franklin, a very reliable right arm medium bowler who is known for her line and length in terms of accuracy. That's the kind of areas that she'll target. Often bowls very wicket to wicket. Wasn't quite fully timed, but it will get out through deep mid wicket for 2. Big commute for Dunkley coming round from deep square leg.
Yep, no real movement of that front foot. It was all about making sure that she got her hand-eye coordination right, and she did that. Able to pick up a couple.
6-3 with ADR in its slip as well. Sounded good off the bat, but straight at mid-off. Pressure continues to build. Smith with the fielding. Really nice tight start this from Stars, who had all told a pretty good start to the season. 4 wins from 6 in the Rachael Heyhoe-Flint, which has them right in the mix. 17 points accumulated, 2 points off tabletop as Sunrisers. And full, little bottom edge from Lamb's bat. Big chase from ADR, who has to come all the way around from fielding in its slip, and it's a good scamper, a bit of hustle from the Thunder batters to pick up 2.
Good running, yep. They knew that Alice Davidson-Richards was in that static position, so there was a chance if you run that first one hard to come back, and that's the sum outcome here. Sun shining, beautiful blue skies, plenty of clouds as well, but perfect cricket weather.
Slow ball, just held it back a touch. Guided out by Lamb to the sweeper for 1. Both Thunder batters somewhat restrained thus far, as players increasingly just from 50 over to T20. This both sides' second T20 game of the campaign. After that initial block of 6 Rachael Heyhoe-Flint Trophy matches, there'll be 8 more in the 50 over group stage later on. For now, we're right into a big run of T20 cricket. Down the ground from Morris, who, this is one of her favourite areas to target. Hasn't quite timed it, but it's enough for Thunder's first boundary. Morris goes up and over and gets more than enough of it, taking on Franklin, who was maybe just a touch over-pitched.
Yep, with mid-on up like that, it's a fairly risk-free shot. He knew that as soon as it went over the head of Moore, it was going to run away to the boundary's edge. We'll just see it again.
Yeah, Morris opening her shoulders as well. Almost not quite a slog sweep. but allowing that bottom hand to come through. And again, you see Morris doing that there. It falls just short of mid-wicket. It might have been a catching chance had it had a touch more on it, but it didn't. Morris then re-rehearsing one a little straighter. End of the second over, 12 without loss.
Again, the South East Stars will be happy with that. I know there was the boundary in the over, but after putting the opponents in, winning the toss and electing to field Bryony Smith, 12 without loss after 2 is a pretty decent return.
Now Gregory's moved around from a deep backward point to a deep third. So Danny Gregory's in at deep third. There's a deep third and a deep square leg. Change of bowling as well. You do often see 1 over spells in power plays these days. That's a decent enough start from Raina McDonald-Gay. He very much burst into the consciousness of plenty on the women's cricket scene in England, when part of the England under-19 squad for the World Cup last year, playing 6 games, taking 4 wickets and scoring a few runs as well. Slog swept by Lamb, straight to deep square leg.
Yeah, bowling to your field on that occasion, just coming into the right-hander who got plenty of bat speed into it, but McDonald-Gay can mix up her pace. You can see where the wicketkeeper is positioned, that she does bowl with a decent set of wheels.
Again, this time it's Morris who goes for the slog sweep, and Morris is very clever at manipulating the ball behind square on both sides of the wicket. Demonstrates it there. Knew that she had to get it fine because of deep square leg and did it brilliantly. Clever stuff from Morris.
It really was, yeah. You could see this one slightly more leg side, and she just used all of the speed of the delivery and put it away, raced away to the boundary's edge. Suddenly McDonald-Gay has the pressure on.
This is what Morris is opening the batting for. She will be aggressive. His left just pushing and prodding at that though. Trying to work it down to deep third. Was trying to get a very fine tickle on it because she knew that there was no slip. Wanted to give Danny Gregory a big chase at deep third.
Great comeback. I think that's where she needs to be bowling.
Down the ground from Morris. Lovely shot. Straight back past the bowler for 4. Early warning signs here for Stars. And Fee Morris is looking in fine form.
Yeah, Morris certainly the aggressor. She faced fewer balls up front because it was Emma Lamb who had the majority of the strike, but Morris has certainly looked to get right in amongst it. A high percentage of boundaries in that 13. Is it 3 so far?
12 of her 13 in boundaries. So what does McDonald-Gay do? She's been hit for 4 by Morris when dropping too short and down leg. Now she's overcompensated and got one that was overpitched that was slapped straight back past her for 4 more. Shorter, and Morris picks this up as well and deposits it through deep backward square leg for 4. That was just the over Thunder needed to really kick-start their innings. 13 taken off it. 3 boundaries in the last 4 balls from Morris, 25 without loss.
You could see it was a slower ball there, banged into the surface, and it's not the quickest of pitches here at Beckenham, and as soon as that happened, just sat up nicely. It was inviting, wasn't it, for the batter, who's very strong leg side of the wicket.
Well, Morris is, and it's one thing to keep an eye out for, Morris is very clever at using the pace against the bowler, behind, manipulating the ball behind square with various scoops and paddles. Something that she really has in her favour. Remember, you can get in touch on Twitter as well, at SE Stars Cricket, for all things South East Stars. Change of ends for Farrant. Lamb steps down the track and smashes it out to Dunkley for 1.
Great bit of fielding because that was struck very firmly. Sophia Dunkley had to get on her bike, race away to her right hand side, and good bit of work, decent return as well into the keeper.
So at SE Stars Cricket for all things South East Stars, at Thunder Crick Thunder CRIC for all things Thunder. As Farrant comes in again to try and stop Morris, who is looking in ominously good touch if you're a Stars fan. She's forced to drop her bat on that though. Nice Farrant, a very traditional left arm over line to a right-hander, shaping back in towards middle stump. And if you want to get in touch with your commentary team, let us know where you're watching from, what you're up to, your thoughts on the fixture. You can get in touch with my colleague Jamie D. Reid on @JamieDReid, exactly as you would expect it to be spelt. And yours truly, Michael McCann, on @ThisIsMcCann, MCCANN, @ThisIsMcCann. Do get your tweets or X's in, whatever they call it these days. It's Farrant, bouncer, and smashed away by Morris. Big chase needed by Dunkley. They'll get a very comfortable 2. It was a good sharp bouncer that from Farrant. He does have the ability to do that, and Morris was more than equal to the task.
Well, Farrant's arguably been the best bowler on show so far. I know that she's bowled the 9 deliveries, but she's only gone for 6, and again, we're just seeing signs that it's not the quickest surface here.
Remember as well, it's Sunrisers versus Vipers at Chelmsford later today. Swipe and a miss from Morris. He just re-rehearses the shot as if she wished she'd maybe held her shape a little better for it. It's a slightly a table of 2 halves, I should say, he says on attempt number 2, because you've got 4 teams so far who are yet to lose, and 4 teams so far who have only lost. That table is taking shape at a very early part of proceedings across the 10-game group stage. Farrant once more, comes off the toe of Morris's bat, well disguised slur ball, very clever from Farrant. Morris just having a wry smile, certainly didn't pick that one.
No, she was through the shot. It looked a cutter, didn't it? She's mixed up her pace very nicely. Farrant, I've been impressed with her, as I always am. A very good executioner of skills, and an ideal person to look at for any young cricketers making their way in the game.
She's played for England 24 times as well between 2013 and 2021. Farrant completes the over, and it doesn't get Morris's wicket, but has winded Morris. Morris seems to have chopped that one into her own foot, but will have a little bit of time between overs to rest it. 3 off that over from Farrant, who's been equally excellent in the overs that she's bowled from both ends of the ground so far in the first 4 overs. 28 without loss.
Looks like Phoebe Franklin is going to return for her 2nd over. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay was expensive, of course, and doesn't take a genius to work out, even with my elementary maths. The run rate 7 after 4, going along 28 for no wicket. It's been a good start, you would have to say, from the batters. It would be nice if we could see a Stars wicket. That will certainly be the aim, to get in and have a look at this middle order.
Steps down the track, Lamb. That's clever manipulation of length, and then just guides it away through backward point, knowing the gap was there, and Lamb gets 4. Just trying to find her stride here, Lamb. Brings her strike rate back above a runner ball and gets her first boundary.
You see a little bit of width there, played with soft hands, knowing that all the pace was on the delivery. She just needed to make sure that she used the right execution. As soon as it beat the fielder there in the ring, always going to race away. Fast outfield here.
And Lamb this time smashes it through mid-wicket. Didn't quite get all of this. Big chase for Alice Davison-Richards, coming round from quite a wide mid-on position. There's 2 more for Lamb. Mentioned that table. Central Sparks and Blaze both have 2 wins from 2. Sparks with 9 points, Blaze with 8. Thunder 5 points from their only games so far in 3rd, and Stars in 4th with 4 points from their opening fixture.
Good slower ball.
And that's what Franklin will do. It's very canny, very good at her change-ups, and very difficult to get away opening the bowling in either 50 over or T20 cricket. Now you might be wondering, if you may be relatively new to all things Charlotte Edwards Cup, Franklin also used to look look to use the slope a little bit here. Why have you got different points for two teams having won a game? Well, you get 4 for the win, but you can possibly pick up another extra bonus point if your run rate is 1.25 times better than the opposition. Guided again off the back foot from Lamb, but this time straight to Cranston at backward point. Good scurrying from Morris, who always knew that her end was the danger end, had been backing up, called it early and set off, and even if it was a direct hit, would have been home. And then at the other end of the table, the Vipers and the Sunrisers have both played once and lost, and the Western Storm and the Northern Diamonds have both played twice and lost. Morris again looking for that area behind square on the leg side. I mentioned she likes to target that region, and frankly might feel like it's not really her best delivery. It's a touch shorter, but Morris gets the slog sweep out, and to be fair, has fetched that from around middle or off stump. Really tricky that, because then it makes a bowler think, how do you adjust? This over has already gone for 11 and we have 1 ball left of it. Shorter, and Morris again in that region, and again gets 4. So the over goes for 15 in the end. Morris has 27, the vast majority of those in boundaries, and the vast majority of those runs coming behind square on the leg side.
Yep, you have to say, if you are a South East Stars bowler, you have to be honest and say we probably bowled a little bit too straight, and we've been picked off by Lancashire Thunder. They've started brightly. 43 for no wicket is the score after 5. Thank you, Michael. Alice Davidson-Richards is going to have her first bowl, and she does bowl that heavy ball. She'll bang it into the surface, looking to try and make it difficult for these two openers who started brightly. Certainly Morris, 27 from 15. Lamb, a runner ball. She's faced 15 deliveries and taken 16 runs. The run rate's good, over 8.5 and over, and that shows the healthy score. 43 for no wicket is the score. Alice Davidson-Richards just about to start from this Beckenham end and running up and bowling a slower, gentle delivery to open up that is just played out to extra cover by the batter on display. We should give you the officials for this game. Rose Dovey and Ben Peverell are our 2 on-field umpires, and Sarah Bartlett is the match referee.
Yeah, good point. Peverell currently at square leg, Darby currently standing.
Davidson-Richards, the one change for South East Stars coming into this game, and bowling another slower ball that's hit to Cranstone at backward point. She gets a goalkeeper half stop into it, but it does race away down the hill to the boundary, or towards the boundary, and they come back for a third, quickly home for that third run. I mean, they've been very impressive between the wickets. They've run well so far, Michael.
Yeah, these two very experienced batters and know each other's games very well. Great credit to Raina McDonald-Gay there. Did really well to haul that in with a flying dive. Just about kept the ball in play.
4 away from the half century. Tash Farrant just having a little word with Alice Davidson-Richards. Those two know their own careers very, very well. You mentioned about those England appearances for Tash Farrant. She has had a couple of injury-ravaged seasons, and that, of course, has stopped any further international honours for now. But she's still a fine, fine cricketer, and currently standing at mid-on as the umpire looks on, and Davidson-Richards has a couple of little runs before coming into a slower ball wide off the target, and it is going to be very wide. You can see that the umpire just signalling, extending those 2 arms. You can see what she wanted to try and do, bowl it out the back of the hand. She's got it wrong.
One thing it's interesting talking to a few people about across women's cricket this season, we've already seen it in the 50 over comp, we'll see it in the T20s as well, is scores with the bat rocketing.
Here's Davidson-Richards coming in again, another slower ball, and that's played with soft hands. It's run away down to the vacant third. It's going to be kept in by Danny Gregory. Good bit of fielding, and they come back 4-2. Gregory really alive to that situation. I think we might be seeing our first spin maybe in the next over. There's just been the signal from Tash Farrant that we need the helmet to come out at the end of this. We've still got 3 to go in this over, 1 away from the half century, 49 for none.
Yeah, the classic spin on for the first over after the power play.
Yeah, always tends to be the case, doesn't it? Fielding restrictions will be lifted after 6. Here's Davidson Richards banging one into the surface. The batter doing the right thing, ducking, getting in underneath it. Morris 29 from 16, seeing it very nicely. Lamb 19 from 17 at the other end. A reminder that we are now into Charlotte Edwards Cup action. The Stars beat Western Storm by 4 runs in Bristol on Sunday. They picked up 4 points, and as Michael mentioned, with that bonus point, Lancashire Thunder beat Northern Diamonds by 8 wickets at Emirates Old Trafford. This time going leg side of the wicket out to Sophia Dunkley. Oh dear, it's gone through the hands of the all-rounder, and it's raced away to that boundary's edge for 4. That's a bonus.
Yeah, again, the thing that will frustrate the Stars, obviously Dunkley will be disappointed that's burst through the hands, but also Davidson Richards bowling into Morris's strength.
Yep, going leg side of the wicket and bowling it in that position. 53 for no wickets, so the 50 coming up as Davidson Richards continues and bowls a slower one, which is just hit into the covers by Morris. Dot ball is the sum outcome, and that is the end of the over. So we've had 6 overs bowled, 53 for no wicket the score.
Very tidy power play from Thunder. I was mentioning seeing scores rocket and explode up this season once again. We've already had the game here where Stars nearly pulled off a world record women's list day run chase, losing in an absolute thriller by just 3 runs when chasing 311 in that game that was back on the 8th of May. And we're definitely going to see similarly high scores this summer. I mean, Emma Lamb got 111 not out against the Sunrisers back in July 2021 when Thunder posted their highest ever T20 total, which was 186 for 1. It's definitely possible they could break that today.
Can Kalia Moore here make a breakthrough? We're going to see our first spin of the innings. The diminutive figure of Moore worked away on the leg side. They take 1. Moore bowling in those sunglasses as she so often does. You can see a little bit of movement in the field, looking to try and make sure that fielders are where they should be. Getting involved is wicketkeeper Chloe Hill, who's up to the stumps, of course, wearing that helmet that came out. And this is a full toss, drilled down the ground. It beats the fielder, who's halfway back at mid-off, and it's going to race away. It went straight through Bryony Smith down to the boundary's edge. When I say straight through, it was to her right hand, and maybe not that close in fairness, but it's just raced away across this fast outfield.
Fee Morris very much in her opening the batting era and absolutely loving it, unsurprisingly so. And this is a real concern for Stars. Yep,
it's a test, isn't it, for the bowlers. Here's Moore again, bowling just outside off stump to Morris, and no thoughts of a single. They thought it could possibly be on, but the field is up, and Tash Farrant was very eager, so too Paige Schofield. All of those fielders wanting to try and make this initial breakthrough after putting Lancashire Thunder in. This wasn't in the script to see this situation. This one runs past the outside edge. Fielding is carried out by Danny Gregory, is that? And it gets its way, or finds its way, back to Kalia Moore, wearing shirt number 27. She's bowled 4 balls so far, gone for 5. Couple of quick steps down the track from Morris, who moves on to 38 with that single.
Fee Morris, he has a best of 89 with the bat this season, made in game 2 at Sale back on the 24th of April, in the win against the Sunrisers.
Lamb back onto strike and happy to play second fiddle here as she picks up another single, and it means she will take the bowling. The score moves on to 60, 7 gone.
A lot of teams talk about partnership dynamics, and sometimes it's a little bit about what happens on the day. As we see, great to see plenty of youngsters enjoying a Friday at the cricket, and it's worth reminding you as well that we're back here on Monday for the game against Western Storm, the 3rd game of the Charlotte Edwards Cup campaign for the Stars. Danny Gregory's on from our end of the ground, the Crystal Palace end. So back-to-back home games here at Beckenham. It's Friday and Monday. Free entry, do come down. Plenty have made the trip today. Nice enough conditions as well. 17 degrees and it's not raining.
No, indeed, which is always pleasant. Spin at both ends then as Gregory runs up past the umpire and bowls a quick one that raps against the pads of the opener Lamb, who's on strike here. 21 from 20 so far. And yep, you mentioned about that free entry. You're watching the live stream brought to you by South East Stars, but nothing beats being here, and we are looking to really ramp up the atmosphere and ramp up the crowds for these players. Let's not forget we're watching some great cricketers here. Another single picked up as this ball is just worked out backwards a square on the leg side. There's not many things that you can do and enjoy free of charge in life, so getting the opportunity to come here to the county ground in Beckenham, that's very well served by stations. If you don't want to drive here, there are plenty of stations in and around Beckenham. New Beckenham, Beckenham Hill, Beckenham Junction, very, very well served. Again, a carbon copy of the previous delivery. Morris picks up another single, and the grandstand is starting to fill up, so hopefully you might be able to join us on Monday. The schools will be finished for half term. We'd love to see you here. That is the message. Lamb back onto strike. 22 from 21 so far, and facing up to Gregory. She's going to pick a single. Gregory bowling one into the pads. Worked away on the leg side.
So Gregory so far here has got 5 full with 3 sweepers out on the onside. Seems to be the plan to try and broadly hang it outside the off stump.
She's been pretty good so far, not going for a boundary. This one is just worked away out to deep cover, and they should come back for a second. It might be tight. Good running.
It's good running. It was good cricket all round. It was a very nice stop from deep cover, charging around to her right to make sure that it was only 2. Raina McDonald-Gay out there.
Gregory needs to end this over well. We're into the 8th over. 65 for no wicket is the score after being put in. They bowled well. That one almost French cricket-like from Morris, who just has to cover up right in front of the sticks. And that is a good first over, you have to say. 1 going for 2, 3 going for singles. But a very good over, only going for 5 off the first one. Gentleman there just bowling. He's got the scorebook out as well. No linear sheet required. Very, very good use of the pens, mixing it up.
He's not an iPad man then?
No, he's certainly not. No,
absolutely not.
No, making sure that he's got the scorebook the traditional way. 65 for no wicket after 8. I think I would probably go linear sheet, but I wouldn't want to make a mistake in that scorebook. That's the only reason why. This one worked out to deep mid-wicket and they take 1.
Yeah, there is something beautiful about paper scoring with coloured pens for each bowler.
Got to make sure you do it well. Lynn Martin, the best in the business, the South East Stars scorer. Delighted to have Lynn with us, as we always do here at the county ground in Beckenham. That's the venue as this one's drilled down the ground, and there is the first wicket of the innings. You could see very comfortable from Bryony Smith, and Fee Morris, who's looked so good, has been picked up here by Kalia Moore, and she's on her way back for 41. It's been very impressive from her, an entertaining knock, but it comes to an end with the score on 66.
Really important breakthrough, and right now, given the pace at which Morris was scoring, she's the one that they'd have preferred of the 2. Good temptation from Moore, and Morris, as part of her role in the order, was always going to take it on. She'll be a key figure with her off-spin for Thunder later on, but for now, she's given Thunder a brilliant platform with the bat. All credit to the young spinner Moore for opening up an end.
Seren Smale is the new batter coming out to the middle, and very much needs to now try and play to Emma Lamb, who's batted nicely but really put in the shade by Fee Morris, who was the aggressor.
Well, Smale's in great nick. So she, in her last 4 games, has had 3 scores of 50 plus and a 30 not out as well. Made 99 against the Vipers, and also had that huge stand with Lamb for the first wicket against Sparks at Old Trafford.
Here's Kalia Moore to continue and getting the opportunity to bowl one just outside off stump and quite a way outside off stump. According to our on-field umpire, the wide is signalled.
Moore just looks to have injured something now in her finger. I'm not quite sure. She seems in a little bit of discomfort. It's getting a bit of help from a teammate. Maybe something stuck in her eye.
I wonder maybe if a fly went in. Yep. Never nice, can be painful, and that's the good thing of having considerate teammates. Here's Moore again, continuing. Bowling one outside off stump, just backing away and opening up the offside and working it out to Dunkley, who's at deep cover. They take a single. We do, of course, have cricket broadcast royalty with us today. Johnny Batham is in the house, which is always pleasant. Lovely to see John. As Kalia Moore continues with the ECB Reporters Network today, but he does join us in the commentary box as this one is worked out onto the leg side and they take another single. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Michael mentioned about those temperatures. You have to say it feels a bit hotter than that.
Yeah, sun bursting through nicely. There is a lot of cloud around. Sun's only been intermittent.
69 for 1 is the score as Moore bowls, and going down the wicket to long on and taking a single is Smale. 2 from 2 so far. Lamb back on to strike.
Yeah, Sarah Smale's one of the great prospects of English women's cricket. Very much worth keeping an eye on, the talented teenager.
Moore to finish the over, bowling a quicker delivery, which has gone down the leg side, so we're going to see another one, would you believe? It is going to be an elongated over with these two wides. Moore has picked up the wicket, but gone for 13 from the 11 that she's bowled so far. Plus, of course, those two that she's had to bowl again. This one worked out to deep cover, and they take a single. And that is the end of the over. So 9 bowls, 72 for 1 the score. Lamb has 26. Smale, the new batter, 2 without loss.
Excellent foundation here set by Thunder on what does look to be a good batting pitch. You would have to say that the onus now will be on Lamb to kick on, having faced 25 balls. Plenty to come in the Thunder middle order as well, in terms of firepower. These two have been in pretty good nick in the early part of the season in that 50 over campaign. Now about adjusting to the T20 tempo.
Once this over has been bowled, we will be at the halfway stage of the innings. Gregory bowling this 10th over. This one is drilled down the ground. She's going to do well to cut it off McDonald-Gay. She can't get there, so it's going to be a boundary as soon as it beat the captain Bryony Smith, who's up there at mid-off. You always felt it might run away. It was hit with great power, great purpose. Very, very impressive. The outfield is quick. You do get good value for your shots. And Lamb's taken advantage. 30 from 26. Facing up to Gregory here, who bowls a quicker one and just opening the outside edge and working the ball down to third and taking a single is Lamb. Smale back onto strike. 2 from 2. Of course, we do have a little bit of repair work to do for the officials.
She's a very good player of spin, Emma Lamb, and demonstrates it there. Comes down and smashes one on the half volley, or turns it into a half volley effectively, and then the very next ball is going right back deep in her crease. Really testing out Danny Gregory, the long-time star, the first Stars player to reach 50 appearances.
Gregory's bowled well here so far. She's been a bit more expensive in this second over with the boundary off the first ball. Little change in the field. You can see Kalia Moore has just come in and moved slightly straighter at straight mid-wicket. She might be in the game here. This one just turned round the corner and it's going to go down to the vacant fine leg. It should run away. It does run away, and there's 4 more runs. So you have to say the Stars winning the toss. Bryony Smith saying that Lancashire Thunder could have first use of the wicket, and they started very, very nicely, almost at the halfway stage, Michael, and really it has been bat dominating ball.
Good tuck away from Smale. Smale's first boundary.
Moves on to 6 as Gregory continues and bowls one into the surface. This one drilled down the ground to McDonald-Gay. Good arm, good strong arm coming back into Gregory. They take one and they have to settle for it. More and more people starting to turn up. Nice to see some children all around, dotted around, making sure they're enjoying it as a plane just goes overhead. Nice, lovely place to come and watch cricket. Beckenham, as they take one, they might try and turn it into two. Farrant very quick across the ground, throws it into the surface, and in it goes to Chloe Hill, the wicket keeper. They only take one, no thoughts of a second, with Farrant making that good scamper across the ground. 83 for 1 is the score, 1 over to go. Myself, Jamie Reid, joined in the commentary box by Michael McCann. And Michael will let you know how you can get in touch on social media very shortly. We are now at the halfway stage of the innings. Another single picked up by Thunder. They've been very impressive so far. A run rate of 8.4. 84 for 1 the score, 10 gone.
So in that last 5, Thunder have scored 41 for the loss of 1, having scored 43 for the loss of none in the first 5. And now really they can go with almost reckless abandon in these last 10, Thunder. The platform is very, very well constructed, trying to rein that back in. Will be Stars who will want wickets. It's turned away out to square leg for 1. This Davison-Richards settling into her second over, back into the side today, of course. Someone who is such an asset to have with bat and ball in the field as well. A little slower ball, just dotted down in front of cover, and a good scampered quick single. Nothing Paige Schofield could really do about it, even if the pickup was clean. Women's cricket journalist Polly Starkey saying in her Stars pre-season preview that ADR is without doubt someone you would always want on your team simply because of her infectiously positive character. The owner of the widest smile in cricket, easy for me to say. Short and out to deep mid-wicket. She's been the first name on the team sheet for the last 4 years, a solid all-rounder for the South East Stars. A good enough batter to have scored a Test century and a good enough bowler to have taken over 100 list day wickets at an average of under 25. She's slowly accumulated 15 England caps over the last 5 years without ever establishing herself as a regular. Neat summary from Polly Starkey. Once again, Davison-Richards bowling to her field. She's got 5 on the offside, but only deep cover out in terms of protection there. And then all 4 back, or 3 of her 4 on the leg side back with mid on up. So that points to what we've seen so far, which is back of a length into the wicket. That's a bouncer with a bit more venom to it. Pulled away for 1. Just drops her bat on that one, and that's another single. So very good containing over from Alice Davison-Richards, doing everything she can to make sure that any Thunder acceleration that might be coming doesn't start off her in that one. 6 singles, 90 for 1 after 11.
If you are looking for things to do and things to listen to, a reminder that there's a new podcast, John Surtees, of course, with Tom Holland. The rest is history, it's called. Tales from the Oval. The first episode is out. It came out earlier this week. It's an 11-episode series with new episodes every Wednesday throughout May, June and July. Make sure you watch that and enjoy it, or listen to it and enjoy it, I should say, with John and Tom.
Yeah, if you love your cricket history, well worth a look. As Gregory continues from the Crystal Palace end. Gregory's 3rd over this.
Yep, going right down the years, and episode 1 is all on the prehistory of the Oval, so that goes back a long, long, long way.
Gregory hunting a breakthrough and nearly getting one as well. Smell had no idea where that had gone. Came off the inside half of the bat, just dribbled out into the onside. Selwyn Smell, who got a first pro contract with Thunder early last year. Also of England under-19s and Southern Brave. Was excellent in the under-19 World Cup campaign last year. A bit of footwork to meet that one and work it out, but so far Gregory and Davidson Richards bowling nicely to this broad plan, having the vast majority of your sweepers on the leg side and looking to stop even the prospect of twos. Goes for the slog sweep and gone. The pressure's told. Just a little while or so where Thunder have not managed a boundary, and that has brought the second wicket. Lamb, who was all too aware of her need to accelerate, having laid the foundations, trying to go behind square against Gregory to find a release of the pressure. Instead has to go bowled Gregory, 92 for 2.
Tight over, just the 2 singles and the dot ball. She knew that she needed to try and do something, the opener, and of course that's a big, big wicket to pick up. Both the openers back in the hutch.
So Emma Lamb gone. Good one to pick up, Lamb. First female cricketer to play in the Cheshire County Premier League. It's part of the England A side in New Zealand in the winter, is knocking right on that England door. Out comes the Thunder skipper, Ali Frelkeld, who later on will see so impressively behind the stumps, one would imagine. But for now will be in front of them. 25-year-old who is a very impressive middle order batter. Finished last season with an unbeaten 100 in a win against Storm in Thunder's final match of the season. That was in the 50 over format. And is very busy, very capable of scoring all round the wicket, and has worked a lot on the power hitting part of her game. Signature shot is probably her cover drive. Facing up to Gregory. Just tries to guide that one through third and misses. Gregory pushed that one through.
She really did, yep, not the kind of delivery that you want first up. It was bold, wasn't it, with good pace.
And those bowlers, brilliant to watch Gregory with all of her variations. Floats that one up. Frelkeld misses and not given. Good from Gregory. Did get a big stride in Frelkeld. We have the benefit of this replay that umpires don't. Well, you can see why it wasn't given. Maybe hit in line with middle and leg possibly going down.
That's out, yeah. The first time up I thought to myself that might be on the slide, and that's why it makes it difficult for on-field umpires, but I think she's unfortunate there, the bowler.
McDonald Gay back on. Studs understandably juggling their bowling pack. McDonald Gay, who want to tighten up a touch from earlier on. Just drops a bat on that one. Smell sounds nice, but straight at mid-on.
Well, it's much easier, isn't it, coming on to bowl when you've got 2 relatively new batters. I know that Smell has been going along at a good clip, 12 from 11. But good to get a good early look at Frelkeld.
Goes down the track, Smell, and it's completely missed by Smith, who seemed to lose the flight of the ball for a second, and it goes away for a boundary. Desperately need a boundary just to help release some of the pressure that's on Thunder. Wasn't where Smell wanted it to go at all. Smell was looking to go straighter, if not possibly over the head of mid-on. Came slightly off the outside edge of her bat. Slow ball just guided away for 1-2 deep square leg. So Rachael will now face the pace of McDonald-Gay. Leif Rachael, who can also call Manchester and Old Trafford home when it comes to the 100. He's been part of the Manchester Originals squad for a few seasons now. Of course, things all change for next season from 8 regions to 8 counties when it comes to the cricket you're watching now, but that's not a big change for Thunder. Into the pads, and given, gone. Rachael has to go for a 3-ball duck. Raina McDonald-Gay has her first wicket. A couple of quick wickets for the Stars just to help peg Thunder back here. The visiting captain gone for a duck.
Good bowling. We're going to get the chance to see it again, coming slightly wide off the wicket and angling it in. And it has trapped the batter in front, you have to say. Playing all round a straight one. Good delivery from Raina McDonald-Gay. Great to see her in the wickets column. Kept low as well.
Yeah, maybe just kept lower touch. It's nipped back down that hill as well. You can see that angle shows you quite nicely that there is that slope to use going down against the right-hander. So out comes Danny Collins, who signed her first pro contract last June. Made a senior county debut in her hometown of Bury back in 2018. It's also Manchester Original and has also represented Cumbria. And Thunder will be looking to her for a bit of momentum. That's the bowling figures so far. Franklin a touch expensive up top. Franklin, you would imagine, White, I was going to say, you'd imagine, take 2. Farrant will be back for her 2 at the back end of the innings, having conceded just 6 off her 2 at the top. So there'll be 7 overs to find after this one. 2 more will be Farrant, and there'll be 5 to be distributed elsewhere. For now, Collins ready to face. Into the pad, surely going down. And you are going to take quite a lot to get Ben Peveril to raise his finger there from right arm around to a left-hander, even with the fact that the slope is now potentially taking the ball away from Collins.
On the slide, wasn't it? But boundary aside, this has been a very good comeback from McDonald-Gay.
Went for 13 off her first. That'll be 1. Collins off the mark. So Collins will keep the strike. 13 gone. Run rate is almost exactly 7.5. 98 for 3.
And it's fallen away, and it just goes to show how quickly games of cricket can change. We're just getting a chance to look at those partnerships. 66 put on for the opening partnership. We then saw 26 for the next wicket, before only 5, and now they're looking to try and rebuild. Smale and Collins, the 3 wickets have been picked up and shared around. Gregory, Moore and McDonald-Gay all picking up wickets here, and you have to say it's been a good fight back from the South East Stars.
Certainly has. 43 without loss after 5. Thunder would have been looking at potentially continuing at that rate, if not pushing even further. Right now you'd have to say 180 looks a little way away. Gregory to Collins. Just turns it away. 1-2, they won't get it. Good hustle from the boundary riders, all too aware of the game within a game. Phoebe Franklin charging in there. Right-handed Smell now on strike, who with Collins having just come to the wicket, you'd think the onus might be particularly on Smell to go after Gregory here. Gregory again with this deep set leg side field. Instantly the call is 2. They won't take it on this time.
Farrant's a super fielder.
Oh yeah, that was a fool's errand if they'd have tried a second there. And they certainly didn't. 100 up for Thunder in reasonably good time, but it's taken them longer to get the second 50 of that than it took the first. Flighted up. Maybe slightly overpitched, and it's a nice looking shot from Collins. Big chase needed from the fielder coming around, and it has been just about kept in play by McDonald-Gay. That's not the first brilliant boundary stop she's made today. And that means that it is only 2. That's a fantastic save. That's Rona McDonald-Gay's best Mary Earps impression.
2 umpires just having a little chat. Did they feel that maybe it touched the rope?
I think from the one replay.
Well, there's no way they can know. You've got to go with what the fielder says.
Difficult to spot from that. May also be talking about something else. Lighted up again from Gregory. Chance for Smith to shy and hits and gone. That is fantastic from Bryony Smith. Superb fielding. Collins is run out for 4. It always looked like a dicey single if the pickup was clean. And Smith successful at the coconut shy. 102 for 4. Another wicket goes for Thunder, who've lost 3 in very quick succession here.
Yep. Good bit of fielding, wasn't it, from the captain? It was the full pint with the stump coming out of the ground, and you have to say it's a suicidal single. It really is. You know that you're going to the stronger hand. You know she's going to throw down the stumps or look to try and do that. I'm not sure you necessarily go for a single there, especially to a good fielder like Bryony Smith.
Well, it was Collins' own call. No doubt. Well in front of square, of course, having been hit at mid-on, and because of the angle, it also meant that in shying, Smith could effectively see pretty much all 3 stumps, maybe 2.5, so she had a big target to aim at. But it's still good hustle from Smith. She does have to come 2 or 3 yards to her left, so wasn't actually necessarily hit to her right. Very, very well executed. And now here comes talented young Scot, Ailsa Lister, part of this Scottish side that qualified for the Women's World Cup, having come through that global qualifier earlier this year and the European qualifiers in September last year. Talented young keeper batter. Straight at cover, pressure continues to build.
Yep, Threlkeld, the captain, and wearing the gloves and leading the side, and the pressure's suddenly on Seren Smell now, Michael. 18 from 15, she's got to make sure she's really there at the end if she can be.
Down the ground, hit nicely on the half volley. Big chase needed and won't get there. Lovely shot from Smell. Was a bit overpitched from Gregory, but it was put away very nicely. Boundary to finish an over that brought a wicket with the run out. And so with 14 overs gone, Thunder 106 for 4. End of the braided wonder. Danny Gregory's work for the day. 1 for 27 of 4 for her. The braided wonder is coined by Kit Harris. Little play on Bill Frindle of Test Match Special, who was what's known as the bearded wonder. 6 overs left, so 10s from here gets 166, but right now 10 over feels like a bit of a stretch for Thunder unless these two can really get going. But Ailsa Lister is ideal for this situation. She's a very capable power hitter.
Yeah, Franklin back into the attack and Lister facing up for the first time.
Goes back and times it nicely out to deep cover for 1. Lister into Thunder colours for the first time this season. He's played a couple of ODIs for the Scots as well as 28 T20 internationals. Slow ball. Sounded good from Smell, but it's Straight at Schofield at extra cover. No run.
Yeah, Page is a good fielder there. That certainly warmed up the hands. Make no doubt about that. It was hit very powerfully. Right in behind it, though.
Trying to pierce that gap through the covers and has managed to thread the eye of a needle to get it out to extra cover for 2. Really good placement from Smell. Again, a good looking shot from Smell, just trying to manipulate it into a gap with a possibility of 2, but there won't be 2 there. Just 1. So from here, Thunder probably first and foremost looking at getting 160. Stars have got a batting lineup full of power. Slow ball out to deep cover for 1.
Yeah, you would think to yourself, if it is 160, that's massively undercooked.
I had a very interesting conversation with a director of cricket at one of the 8 regions. Can't reveal which region it was, but given what I'm about to say, it will tell you that it wasn't the Stars or Vipers. So this is flicked away out to deep backward square for 1. 15 overs gone, boundaryless over. Stars will be content with that. Good comeback from Franklin, he went for 24 off the first 2, concedes just 6 there, 112 for 4 off 15. So in that block of 5 overs, they've only scored 28 at less than a run a ball, Thunder, and they've lost 3 wickets. So I was having a chat with this director of cricket who said when it comes to this season, their view of the T20 landscape was that you fear the Vipers because of their history and their seemingly endlessly full trophy cabinet from both 50 over and T20 cricket over the years, but in terms of the talent they have in their squad and particularly the explosivity in their batting lineup, you fear the Stars. So the Stars certainly won't be scared of a chase here as Franklin starts the 16th with a full toss that she's got away with a bit. That only goes out to Farrant at deep mid-wicket for 1.
Tash Farrant, you would think, would end things at the City end. She's got 2 to go. So she'll bowl the 17th and the 19th.
So then you've got to find 2 more after this over.
Maybe ADR might have an opportunity. Here is McDonald Gate bowling on off stump to Lister, who just sends the non-striker Smale back, and you can understand why. There wasn't a single there, and the last thing they would want is another run out. The run rate just shy of 7.5 and over. 4.5 to go in the innings in terms of overs. 114 for 4 is the score, and here is McDonald Gay charging in once more, and that's on the slide down the leg side. They're going to pick up a leg bite. Through they go. Maybe there was a bit of bat involved there. Yep, no signal from the umpire, so there was a little bit of bat, and it certainly caught the batter. Smale has 28 from 22, Lister 3 from 3, and these two having to try and repair after we've seen the wickets mixed around. McDonald Gay bowls a slower one, and again it just wraps the pad of the batter, and this time it will be a leg bite.
Yeah, they'll be really disappointed with this Thunder from where they got to. And they really need these two to come good as finishers. They're both players that are naturally very, very good at opening their shoulders and being aggressive.
Difficult though, you can't really go if you're 1 or 2 down. You can afford to really go. The last thing you want to do is give the South East Stars something to really aim at. This was work down the ground, and it went racing down to Alice Davidson-Richards, who was quickly in from long on, and they pick up a single. They're rotating the strike, picking up the singles, but the boundaries have dried up.
Well, it's also that Stars are bowling in a very disciplined fashion to their field and their plans.
McDonald Gate just about to complete the over, and this one worked out to deep mid-wicket. They take one, they think about a second, it's not on. Farrant again does the work. She saved a good few in the field. She's been very impressive in that regard. 16 gone, 4 to go. 117 for 4.
So that's another over that's gone for just 6, as did the previous one. So 10 over from here gets you 157. And the card tells its own story. Fee Morris explosive at the top, 41 off 27. Emma Lamb with a solid contribution, but just as she was looking to accelerate further, was bowled by Gregory, and then ducked for Frelkeld, and Collins run out by a fantastic direct hit from Smith at mid-on. Those are your bowling figures. So we know almost certainly Farrant is obviously going to have 2. And then where do you go for your other 2? One would think probably Alice Davison Richards or Raina McDonald-Gay. Farrant coming now left arm around to smell.
Tash Farrant very economical so far, only going for 6 off her opening 2. She'll complete her set by bowling the next 2 from that City end, and I think it will be ADR and Rihanna to share those overs from this Beckenham end. And another wicket picked up here. Lister this time caught at deep square leg, and she's really holed out there, caught in the deep, and it's so frustrating when you see another wicket bite the dust, because Smale is good, 29 from 24 at one end. There's just a replay, plenty of elevation, work down to the fielder. Is it Kalia Moore? Moore takes the catch, a good catch, and another wicket bites the dust. You have to say, as Liberty Heap makes her way in, there's a lot of pressure now. They've got to make sure they play, and they've got to make sure really that she is there at the end. Seren Smell, lots depends on her now, Michael. 118 for 5.
Heap is an ideal player for this situation, though. If anyone can come in and play an explosive cameo, it is Liberty Heap. Kind of player who's got a really exciting range of shots, and is kind of person that can come in here and go to a ball from the get-go and really make a difference to this game. But we've seen consistently from the Stars what their plan's going to be, and largely have a deep set leg side field, and then bold discipline lines in and around off stump, and challenge Thunder to do something unconventional, and no Thunder batters quite found the solution to that formula.
A 5-4 offside field as Farrant comes in, bangs one into the surface. This is drilled down the ground, and the fielder will race round from long off, and they take a single. Again, it was hit with a fair bit of power, hit up into the air as well, but it was safe because Davidson Richards is set well back there. And Farrant really has found her rhythm again in this second spell. The run rate dropping all the time. It's now set at 7.21, and here is Farrant, the left armour, racing in past the umpire once more. Plenty of bat speed as this is drilled down the ground, but it should be comfortable, and is comfortable for Schofield to stop any thought of a second. They settle for 1, 120 for 5 the score. And the South East Stars getting underway with that win against Western Storm, winning a tight one by 4 runs in Bristol to pick up 4 points. Lancashire Thunder beating Northern Diamonds by 8 wickets at Emirates Old Trafford. This one a slower ball, and just waiting was Heap, who's worked it out onto the leg side and picks up a single. Again, good fielding, good hustling, not giving anything away, and that's what you want to see from your boundary riders. You want to make sure that they make it very difficult. Smale has played a good hand here, 30 from 25. Heap can certainly keep her going. What can Farrant produce here? 1 to go in her 3rd over. She's picked up the wicket. Some singles as well. This has gone high up into the air, but it falls a long way short of the fielder, and they pick up another single. And the boundaries just not forthcoming at the moment. This is pleasing for the South East Stars. Remember, it was Bryony Smith who asked Thunder to take first use, and you'll see the worm there steadily progressing. But you have to say, I think it will now be the Stars who are much happier at this stage of the game.
No boundaries for 18 balls since Smell hit Gregory for 4 from the final ball of the 14th over. So in the 3 overs since then, we've had that one from Franklin that went for 6, one from McDonald-Gay that went for 5, and that one we've just had, which again went for just 5.
Well, the rate is dropping, and Smale is the big wicket, make no doubt about it. Alice Davidson-Richards back into the attack. Born in Tunbridge Wells, and does bowl that heavy ball, this one into the surface, and just waiting and working the ball out to deep mid-wicket is Smale, who moves on to 32. Heap comes back on 2 strike. Phoebe Franklin with the work in the deep.
Liberty Heap, who very much lives and breathes and bleeds the Red Rose. Very proud of her Burnley roots.
1, 2, 3 for 5 is the score. Heap facing up to Davidson-Richards, who's at the top of her mark and bowling a slower ball, which she has to wait for. They come through for a single. A little shy at the stumps. Davidson-Richards just picks up on the attempted run out from Danny Gregory. Was a long way wide of the sticks. Remember, earlier on we saw Bryony Smith run out Danny Collins for 4. A great bit of work. Lister going for the same score. Threlkeld, the captain and wicketkeeper, for no score, and the 2 openers really got into it as this one is worked out to deep cover. They take 1 and they'll settle for 1. A good bit of fielding. Fizzed back into Davidson-Richards. Lamb made 36, but it was Fee Morris who was the aggressor. Seems a long time ago that she was first out with the score on 66. She made 41 of those runs, and since then the score just hasn't accelerated like they would have hoped for the Thunder. 125 for 5 is the score. Here's Davidson-Richards bowling another slower one. It's going to fall short of Schofield, who's fielding out there at long off. They take 1.
The boundary drought continues. 22 overs without one, and suddenly now expectations having to be adjusted as such, and the next mini milestone for Thunder is to make sure they get past 150.
Well, Richards has come back well here, Davidson-Richards rather, just 4 singles so far from the 4 balls she's bowled. This one following the batter, and again they're only going to pick up another single. Good bit of work from Franklin again in the deep, and she just followed the batter, made it very difficult. Smale 34 from 29, she'll be eyeing a half century and then looking to get any more runs than she can after that. Heap has just got to keep her company here, but the rate dropping to just over 7 runs and over. It's been a tremendous fight back with the ball. Again, this one into the surface, and it's just almost died on the batter. It's not the quickest wicket, and it's difficult. You're having to wait for it, and Alice Davidson-Richards coming back strongly there. 5 runs coming from that 18th over, and you'll see her figures there. Davidson-Richards has gone for 21 from the 3 that she's bowled. Farrant, the star performer so far, she's picked up a wicket, only going for 11 from the 3 that she's bowled. Spin slightly more expensive, 7 and 6.75 more than Gregory, but it's been very good with ball in hand after we saw such a positive start from Thunder.
Yeah, it's worth remembering that Thunder were 43 without loss after 5 when Morris was going along very nicely. Hasn't been a boundary in 4 overs now. The last 4 overs have gone for just 23.
9 and over at that stage. It's fallen away as Farrant gets ready to continue here. Again, bowling one into the surface. They take 1. They should come back for a second, and the throw is a little bit wayward. It was a long way wide of Farrant, and it went to her right hand. And with that, they were able to get back for that second. Smale wants to keep the strike where possible. She's got 36 so far, and looking all around to try and see where the gaps are, and they are plentiful. There's a big playing area here at Beckenham as Farrant comes in again, and this one just keeps low, but it's just dug out and worked backwards a square on the leg side. They take a single.
Cranston with the fielding, and again still can't find a way to break the pressure from what has been a very impressive pullback from Stars in the middle overs here.
It really has, and if you start well with the bat in hand, Bryony Smith will be fully vindicated from that decision, asking Thunder to have first use of the wicket. We must say bless you to Michael McCann there, who you probably picked up has just had a sneeze. It's that time of year, of course.
Thank you. By all accounts, the pitch is playing pretty well. Taking a little bit of turn, but you wouldn't really say there's many demons in it, and unless Thunder can pull something out, they're looking under par here.
They really are. Yep, that's hit high up into the air. It could be a caught and bowled opportunity. You heard as soon as it went up in the air, Farrant made the call and making no mistake, and that is a huge, huge wicket. Seren Smell is sent back, caught and bowled for 37. Tash Farrant with her second wicket of the innings.
Deserved from Farrant, who's been magnificent at both ends of the innings here. Went for just 6 off her 2 overs at the top, and coming back at the death has continued to keep things tight and build on the pressure that was already there. The Smell has to go. It's a nice contribution without quite the acceleration that Thunder would have desired. Now comes someone who certainly can hit a long ball, Tara Norris, who very much in the way of the modern game is a bowler who's worked really hard on her batting, but very specifically for being able to come out at 8 and inject impetus into an inning. She hasn't got long to do so. There's only 8 balls left. She's facing an informed Farrant.
Yep, she's been so miserly. You'll see those figures there. Just the 2 balls to go. 2 for 15. Variation, of course, from the left-arm bowler, and she's on her way once more and bowling a slower one and just waiting and picking up a single to get off the mark is Norris. Thought about coming back. It wasn't on. It means that Farrant will get another opportunity to have a little look at Heap.
Will be a really, really interesting gauge this for the Stars as a test of where they are against a Thunder side who finished 3rd in this competition last season when reaching finals day for the first time in their history. They lost to the Vipers in the eliminator.
They didn't get through, so Norris facing up again and drilling the ball back down the ground. She's going to pick up a single, so she will have the strike. No chance for Heap to get back, and that run rate now has dropped under 7 and over. With 1 to go, 132 for 6 the score.
Yes, as you alluded to, Stars has had a disappointing season of T20 cricket last season. In 2021, of course, winners beating the Diamonds in the final, losing semi-finalists in 2022, finishing 3rd after losing against the Sparks, and then last season didn't qualify out of the group stage after 3 wins and 4 losses across 7 games when things moved to having everyone play everyone once. Davidson Richards starts the final over, slapped out to long off baseball style, and then having to duck to get out of the way of the throw that was fired in. Backing up was on point.
2 for 16 for Tash Farrant, the pick of the bowlers. Very, very impressive, and she has put her side into a real strong position here. It's going to be hard work to get up to 150, you would have to say. In fact, that looks nigh on impossible just looking at it. 5 to go. They would have to hit boundaries, and they've not been plentiful, have they? Davidson Richards has come back well, none for 22 with 5 balls here to bowl. And it is Norris, the left-hander, just having a little look around, surveying the scene.
Well, no boundaries for 31 balls, which at this stage of a T20 game is quite extraordinary.
Yeah, it is massively so, especially when you consider they're 6 wickets down. Here's Davidson Richards bowling one into the surface. It's plenty of bottom hand as it's worked out to deep mid-wicket. They take 1, and again, it's just singles.
You'd have to say Stars know their home ground, and they've bowled very cleverly to it. The biggest boundaries here at Beckenham are the square boundaries. The straight boundaries are not short at all, but the square boundaries are particularly massive, and they've bowled very cleverly in that way. A lot of cutters into the pitch. So another of those there from ADR.
You do get more value straight, as you say. This one worked out to Franklin, who's quickly on her bike to come in at deep mid-wicket, and they take 1. But again, That's all it is. 3 from 3 so far in this last over. The rate at 6.97. Heap 8 from 9. Norris back on strike, 2 from 2. Just checking with the umpire, hoping that there might be another 9 or 12 deliveries. Unfortunately, there's only 3 to go. 136 for 6 is the score. And Norris facing up here to Davidson Richards, who bowls another slower one. Drilled down the ground. Again, it's going to just be another single. Paige Schofield with the fielding. And you can see they're very chipper in the field. Bryony Smith has capped him well, mixed up her bowlers. And they really have looked to try and back things up with ball in hand. Davidson Richards has been good, certainly in this second spell. 137 for 6, the score, as she comes in and bowls a quicker delivery that was going to be racing down leg side. There's a half-hearted appeal. Again, they just take a leg by. And just one ball to go here now. Can they get to 140? Can they get north of 140? That will be the aim. Just trying to hit a boundary here. That will be on Norris's mind. She's only faced the 3 deliveries. And she's found the bowlers in miserly fashion. 138 for 6 is the score. Here's Davidson Richards to complete the 20 overs again. It's a cutter into the surface and they pick up 1. They come back for the second. It is going to be a run out. Suicidal. Norris is sent back for 4. And you have to think to yourself, there was never a second there, Michael McCann.
Well, they had last ball the innings, so had to try it, but far too close to the sweeper. One of those that, if it was any other ball, probably wouldn't have even really looked to. But Norris goes in an honourable fashion to depart, trying to see if she could put 1 more to the total. The bigger, wider problem for Thunder was the fact that nobody hit a boundary since the last ball of the 14th over, and that, in particularly T20 in the modern era, is quite extraordinary. Frankly, you have to go all the way back to 13.6. Gregory hit for 4 by Smale, and from that point onwards, in the last 6 overs, they managed to add just 33. They actually de-accelerated quite a fair bit, from 84 for 1 off 10 to 139 for 7. So we'll be back very shortly with the run chase. But for now, both these sides having won their opening games in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, looking to go 2 from 2. No doubt advantage Stars after winning the toss and choosing to bowl. Play to resume at 4 o'clock on the dot. 140 to win for the South East Stars.
Good work, mate.
No maidens, none for 26. Callie Moore, 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 14. And Danny Gregory, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 27. If you're looking for refreshments between innings, then you can head to the bar on the first floor of the indoor school building. In there, drinks and light snacks are available. And the interval, an opportunity to look ahead to some forthcoming fixtures. South East Stars have 4 further home group games in this summer's Charlotte Edwards Cup. The first of those is back here at Beckenham this coming Monday, 27th of May, when Western Storm are the visitors. On Sunday the 2nd of June, the Stars head to the Kia Oval to play Southern Vipers. That's as part of a double-header with the men's Vitality Blast. Then 2 more double-headers, one at the Spitfire Ground, Canterbury. That's against Central Sparks on Sunday the 9th of June. The other back at the Kia Oval. Sunrise is the opposition, and that's on Saturday the 15th of June. So Monday the 27th of May against Western Storm here at Beckenham. Sunday the 2nd of June against Southern Vipers at the Kia Oval. Sunday the 9th of June against Central Sparks at the Spitfire Ground, Canterbury. And Saturday the 15th of June against Sunrisers back at the Kia Oval. Full information for all of those matches, as well as for the rest of the Stars fixtures in 2024, available from www.southeaststars.com. Please welcome back our umpires, Rose Lothing and Ben Peverell. The Thunder fielding side, led by captain Rachael, with their side requiring 140 runs for victory at 7 runs per over. South East Stars opening batters, number 4, Bryony Smith, and number 47, Sophia Dunkley.
And just a reminder that we are about to get underway for this second innings. Welcome back to the commentary here on the South East Stars live stream. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us via the club's official YouTube channel. 140 is the victory target for South East Stars. Bryony Smith and Sophia Dunkley, the two openers, out in the middle. And plenty of hard work required with the ball now for Lancashire Thunder. They've really got to make sure they try and make some early inroads after their innings stuttered and faltered somewhat. Eventually they ended up on 139 for 7. We know that 7 runs and over will do it for the Stars. And this is Jamie Reid, delighted to say alongside me is Michael McCann. And Michael will talk us through the first 5 overs.
Thanks, Jamie. By all accounts, this is an under par total from Thunder, who had foundation very nicely laid. 84 for 1 off 10. They put on 66 for the first before Sophia Morris went for a very well-made 41, but it fell away quite spectacularly. So 140 to win. Norris to Smith. It's a very nice start from Norris.
And good from Smith, getting right in behind it, showing the bat maker's name.
One thing you'll notice as well is Rachael standing up. One of the very best wicketkeepers around, Ellie Rachael, if not the best, is exceptional. Down the ground and straight at mid-on and dropped. Thunder have given a life to the Stars captain Bryony Smith.
Laura Jackson, the fielder.
Well, that is just what you don't want to do to anyone, never mind a batter of Smith's quality. Smith has met that on the half volley and hit it hard, but it's a catch that you would expect Jackson to take. And you have to feel for Morris, and you have to feel Thunder's frustration. They should have had an early breakthrough, they don't. Pushed back by Dunkley, who is in exceptional form. Sophia Dunkley, who is the top scorer in the Rachael Heyhoe-Flint Trophy so far this season. 293 runs in the 50 over format at an average of just a tickle under 98. So you are into a Bradman-esque 99.94 kind of stratospheres there. Dunkley looking to carry that on into the T20 format. Back of a length, good area again from Norris. He's working, naturally swinging the ball back into the right-handed Dunkley, and it will nip down the slope as well. Ring of 5 on the offside with deep fine leg and deep square leg out. Interesting here, and this is the threat that Rachael poses standing up to the stumps. It traps Dunkley in her crease, but Norris has also got a good sharp bouncer. Dunkley just drops her hands on that. They want 2. They'll get just 1.
Norris is bowling her heart out here. You can see she's really bowling quickly, using plenty of effort balls, wanting to make that breakthrough, and so nearly did.
I mentioned Rachael up to the stump. Some of you might remember there was an iconic stumping. It's worth going and watching. It was frankly outrageous. Norris bowling a bouncer from left arm over, and Rachael completing a stumping off a genuine bouncer, not a slur ball one by any means. As this is missed time from Smith, it's another chance for Jackson to get her out, and Jackson takes the catch, and nobody will feel more relieved. Well, having dropped Bryony Smith earlier on in the over, there is an opportunity for Laura Jackson that few fielders in the game of cricket get, which is when you've dropped that batter mere moments later to take the catch to dismiss them. And so Bryony Smith has to go. It is an early wicket for Thunder, and Norris finally, deservedly, gets her reward.
Caught it very low down the bat. You could hear the noise that it made, and you could see Bryony Smith very frustrated as it went elevated. You would always expect the fielder to make that take that chance, and in fairness to Jackson, she made good second time.
Yeah, but very muted reaction from Jackson in terms of celebration. Very much more along the lines of it, and anyone who's been in that position on a cricket field will know.
I think we've all been there.
More relief than ecstasy as such in terms of her reaction. Paige Schofield comes out to the wicket. Schofield, who is in pretty good form, 74 against the Storm and 65 against the Sparks already to her name this season in the 50 over format. That away game against Storm that Stars lost by 8 runs on DLS, and the Sparks win was here by 71 runs on DLS. This, of course, Stars' first T20 home game of the campaign. Spin into the attack early. Out to long on, where Collins fields at the expense of 1.
Yep.
And Jones here, who's been playing for Lancashire for a decade now. Known earlier on in her career for having a very low economy rate, being very good at keeping things tight. And they balled around the corner, straight to square leg. Jones, nicknamed by previous Thunder coach Paul Shaw. Chris Reed took over this season. He's nicknamed the Quiet Assassin for the way she gets on business with a minimum of fuss. Delivers consistently as that's down the ground from Schofield. Nice looking shot for 1.
Yeah, the perfect carpet drive. No chance of a fielder coming into play.
Back of a length. Oh, that's a beautiful shot from Dunkley. Rocked back, picked up the length early, and just guided it, caressed it away to the cover point boundary. First boundary of the reply.
Arguably the best shot that we've seen so far of the game, not just the innings. Beautiful, wasn't it, from Dunkley? The shot and the sign of a player in very good form.
This time from Jones. Good quick running between the wickets. Knew that was just 5 yards or so to Jackson's left as a right-handed thrower. Tumbling stop needed. Plenty of time to scamper through for a single. No run into the covers. I'll need all of that tenacious work with the fielding and the ball to win this one. Thunder 9 for 1 after 2 Stars, making it a slightly quiet start in reply. Thunder are a side that last season got to finals day of this competition, built primarily on their ability as a bowling and fielding unit. That was the thing they were most known for and feared for from other regions. So I fancy a good crack at seeing if they can defend this. Stars need to kick on in this power play. Norris to Dunkley, who misses. Norris just trying to shape it down that hill with a bit of swing from the new ball and down that hill as well. Norris always a threat, the US international. He returns following a spell in Australia over the winter and with the USA women's national team.
You just don't need to take any risks against her, that's the positive.
Dunkley again just working it down to fine leg. No real possibility of two.
Paige Schofield quickly through. You can see that Wasp's already up to 42%, and you don't really need to look for boundaries. It's all about rotating the strike, making sure you keep wickets in hand.
I must confess, I'm not absolutely certain. Is that saying Stars have got a 42% chance of winning? Is that the batting
It will continue to grow, won't it? Yeah, as they get closer.
Just reared up a little bit on Schofield. You can see by the way that she took her bottom hand off the bat just to try and not end up chipping a catch into the covers.
Little bit of tennis ball bounce, wasn't it? The way it got big on her. You have to be careful that you don't just pop one up to one of the close fielders.
Into the pads, but sliding down, and that will be Norris's problem with both the hill and her natural shape in terms of trying to get an LBW shout in her favour.
Yep, it does fall away as you go down towards Copers Coat Road, that takes you down towards New Beckenham Station. Crystal Palace train just over our shoulders.
Really good tight start this from Thunder, and maybe raising the prospect of a low scoring thriller. Turned away. Mid-wicket was briefly interested in a chance. Instead one, big chase for deep square leg coming around. Norris continuing to push and probe here. Tara Norris, a winner of this competition in 2022 with the Southern Vipers, where she also won the Rachael Heyhoe-Flint Trophy a couple of times in 2020 and 2021. A real asset and point of difference in bowling with whippy left arm overs. As Dunkley tries to get in a position to scoop. All eyes on umpire. Seems like there maybe was a bit of bat in that. No signal from umpire Peveril. And end of the over, just 3 signals from it. A couple of very good early overs from Tara Norris here. 12 for 1 after 3.
Well, you can see the worm falling short at the moment of the visitors, Lancashire Thunder, who did get off to that explosive start, and then their innings just tailed off a wee bit. It's all about looking at these bowling changes. There's going to be one now.
Yeah, a bowler who will offer a very different type of threat to Tara Norris. Phoebe Graham. Tall right arm over, naturally will get a little bit of outswing with new ball in hand. Thoroughly experienced, impressive player. At one point last season had to have a loan spell at Western Storm because wasn't able to get the game time she'd have liked at Thunder, but now charging in for Thunder. Wrapping the pads of Dunkley. Graham and Norris, a very effective new ball bowling combination in the sense they do very different things. Graham has plenty going on off the field as well, running Tip and Flip, a marketing agency doing a lot of good things in and around women's sport. Still writes a blog for Sky Sports about cricket and women's sport in general, as well as a lot of radio commentary work. So that short hit very hard. It's almost taken out the square leg umpire, and it's a great stop out there to ensure that it doesn't go to the boundary from Danny Collins. That is superb fielding. That absolutely whistled off the bat, as quick, if not quicker, than anything we've seen all day. And Collins diving to her right. Not only dived and managed to stop it, but clasped it immediately. Just 2 for Dunkley.
Yeah, Dunkley's been the best batter on show in the innings so far.
Couldn't have blamed her for thinking she was getting 4 when that came off the blade at such a pace and ferocity.
I think we all felt it, yep.
Short again, and Dunkley flays her hands at that. Chance at deep third, and caught, taken. The big wicket of Sophia Dunkley gone. Short and flashed at it, and it's a good catch down there. Wasn't an easy one, seemed to dip a little bit awkwardly towards the end of things. Graham digging it into the surface. Dunkley really did flash hard, and it's taken, maybe the wind's just picked it up a little bit at the end. It's taken one-handed, right-handed. 12 for 2 then, and Dunkley has to depart.
And that is a huge wicket. We're just getting the chance to see it again. A very good take, wasn't it, from the fielder down there on the 3rd boundary, Liberty Heap.
Yeah, naturally Heap would have been wanting to take that two-handed, so it's clearly just swirled in. There is a little breeze out there that's maybe picked that one up. It was hanging in the air a long time. So suddenly, you would have to say, South East Stars, who would have been very content chasing 140 to win, find themselves in a real spot of bother here.
Yep, both the openers out. It gives an opportunity. Farrant and Schofield have got plenty of time to have a look at it. 2 experienced heads, but work to do.
Also shows the difference fielding can make. She's a brilliant fielder, Liberty Heap, more commonly seen buzzing around in the covers. And that's a kind of catch out at deep third that can really change the complexion of a match. Left-handed Farrant now facing up. It's driving back. Top ball first up from Tash Farrant, who's had an excellent return to cricket with the bat this season after extensive injury struggles. 3 consecutive scores of 50 plus in her first 3 games back. Got into the 90s in her return here against the Vipers on the 20th of April. Then 68 not out against Blaze.
That's wide.
We'll get another look at that one. And Farrant made it a hat-trick of 50s with another 50 in the win here against Central Sparks on the 27th of April. Fascinating backstory, Tash Farrant, born in Athens in Greece to English parents, raised in Italy and Singapore before moving to Kent when she was 8, becoming part of the English women's cricket system there. Driving nicely, but driving straight back at Graham. Thunder really exerting pressure here early on.
Yeah, a natural all-round, someone who really likes sport, and you always felt that she would be successful. Certainly Kemp felt that when she was coming through. That's wide again.
Have to re-bowl that one, Phoebe Graham. Farrant, who of course captained the Stars in the Rachael Heyhoe-Flint 2020. Played just 1 game for Stars in this competition a couple of seasons ago, then missed the rest of 2022 due to a back injury, and 2023 was broadly a similar story. Full toss from Graham, who nearly gets a caught and bowled chance from Farrant, who will be a bit disappointed to have missed out on the scoring opportunity. End of an eventful over. 16 for 2 off 4.
Well, I think you said it at the halfway stage, Michael, and it's proving to be the case. We've got a good game on our hands here.
Yeah, it certainly was a caught and bowled chance for Graham. It's a strange one because as a bowler, when you bowl a delivery like that, you expect the ball to be hit back at you with interest, but Farrant mistimed it, and Graham just didn't quite pick up the flight of it. Bold move here from Thunder. They're going to keep Norris going. She's on a roll, and then they've decided to go for the aggressive option of continuing with her.
I think you've got to. It's not going to go 20 overs if they keep wickets in hand.
Smashed through extra cover or wide mid-off region. Good tumbling stop from Graham. Scamper back for 2.
I'm all for that, Michael. I think you need to take your wickets up front. Make sure you do your work with the new ball. And that's why they've decided to be aggressive. That makes perfect sense to me.
Certainly is always a threat up top, Norris. Sounded nice off the bat. Only half stopped. Will be 1 more. Would have been at least 2, if not potentially 4, without the stop though, so that's great fielding. Rachael just playing her role behind the stumps as captain and traffic warden, as you can see, starting to direct fielders all over the place. That's what a right-hand, left-hand combination does to fielding captain. Rachael, who was leading the pre-match football warm-up at one point, I heard her very sarcastically saying it's just like watching Brazil. It was anything but. Down the track it goes. Hit on the half volley. Didn't try and overhit it, Farrant, just timed it. And that's gone. Signalled immediately by the fielder. He did flick it back, but body was in contact with the rope and the ball might have even just have been before the hand came onto it. It's a nice positive shot though, and a rare boundary in this early part of the innings. Well, there you go, yeah. Ball had made contact with the rope before the fielder's intervention. Glided away through backward point, but no run. So Farrant with her first boundary. Does seem to have been an injury sustained in that last tumbling stop at backward point. More assistance being called for here as well. Looked relatively innocuous at the time, in the moment, but clearly very much not so.
Alice Clark acting as 12th, and you could see as soon as she raced out there that she quickly signalled to the physio that there might be the opportunity and the need, and that's proven to be the case.
Yeah, it's Emma Lamb who's down. Just seems to have been something with her left leg that she sustained while diving there. Hopefully it's not quite as serious as it first looks here, but Lamb seems to be in a fair bit of discomfort, and does look to me like she was about to start limping off there. I wonder whether we'll see a period of time with Lamb off and the 12 on, which is a real worry for Thunder, because that's a handy off-spinning option in the middle of the innings that would potentially be removed as she can play no further part in the game. And thankfully okay enough to walk off, but doesn't seem in the best of shape. I'd be a touch surprised if we see her back on in the rest of this one. That's the worm thus far. It tells the story of the fact that early on in the Thunder innings there was Sophia Morris smashing it about when she made 41 off 26, but early on in the Stars innings nobody's really got going thus far. Albeit you have to remember with that one that the second half of Thunder's innings was very disappointing from their point of view. 55 for 6 in the second 10 overs. That was what they managed, having set a nice platform, and that's why it's 140 to win as opposed to something in excess of, say, 160. Oh, it's just setting her field, ready to resume now with Lamb off the field and the 12th on. Into the vacant gap at deep cover. Clark, who has just come on, comes around from point, keeps it to 1.
Farrant very clever, beats the field regularly, knows exactly where to find the gaps, and again doing just that. These two need to make sure they try and repair the innings with the two openers back in the pavilion.
Yeah, we all know that statistic about what happens if you lose 3 wickets in the power play. So that's pushed out through mid-wicket, but if you are unfamiliar as the 5th over comes to an end, what a lovely spell from Norris. They'll be tempted to gamble and just bowl her out. 1 for 13 off her 3, 24 for 2 off 5. Yeah, if you take 3 wickets in the power play, the economy collapses, the price of food doubles. You also have there's a whole litany of things. One of which
you call a general election.
You call a general election, and also it is approximately there's an 80% chance that you lose the game if you lose 3 wickets in those first 6 overs. At the top, Hannah Jones to continue. Jones, who has a best this season of 3 for 37, coming in Thunder's game against the Blaze in the 50 over format at Trent Bridge back on the 6th of May, when Thunder won a thriller by 1 wicket when chasing 174.
Work to do then as Jones continues. This has been hit high up into the air. Is it going to be caught? It has been a great bit of work out in the deep. You could see as soon as it went up, the fielder was very interested, and Tash Farrant hitting the ball high up into the air, and it is Fee Morris who did well with the bat, who's now taking a good catch in the field, and this isn't good from the South East Stars. Both the openers are out, and now the very impressive all-rounder Tash Farrant sent back. Good catch from Morris. That's another wicket picked up by Thunder. Very impressive from Hannah Jones.
Well, Morris is an excellent fielder. There's no way she was going to be dropping that. And Farrant will be frustrated. Just got underneath it, didn't really time it. Nice flight and temptation from Jones, doing exactly what you want a spinner to do. And suspect that Farrant was trying to hit that a little bit straighter. She wouldn't have wanted Morris out in that deep square leg position to be in play for a chance like that. So here's Alice Davidson-Richards back in the side today, and coming out with her side in quite the spot of bother. He already has 250s this season in 50 over cricket, 50 exactly against the Sunrisers and 65 against the Western Storm. Of course, Stars will face here on Monday.
The run rate 4.65, the required rate getting up towards 8 and over, so nothing to worry about at this stage. But the last thing you want to do is keep seeing wickets evaporate, and Smith, Dunkley, and now the latest wicket to fall, Tash Farrant, all very good batters, and there really is work to do. This one just keeps low to Davidson-Richards. She pushes it back up the track, and again she can afford to be watchful. She can afford to have a little look here. An excellent bat twirler, a native of Tunbridge Wells, grew up very close to the Neville ground, and facing up again to the left arm spin and working the ball down to third, and they take a single. Schofield quickly making sure that she did the hard yards and got to the danger end. But again, there's been a dearth of boundaries in this game so far. We've only got 2 balls to go in the power play. It's not been a good return. 25 for 3 for the Stars, who let Thunder have first use of the wicket. Schofield works the ball to extra cover, takes a single, and Davidson-Richards now back onto strike. Just has a little look round. Jones has been impressive into her second over. She's gone for 9 from the 11 balls she's bowled. Here she is to complete the second over, and again Davidson-Richards works the ball down to third, and they take 2. And that is the end of the over. 6 gone in the innings so far. 28 for 3 is the score. You're watching the live stream provided by South East Stars. Thanks for joining us via the club's official YouTube channel. There is the Manhattan, and you will see that there were some big meaty overs in the first few for Thunder. And there's still plenty of work to do. A further 112 required. 140, of course, is the victory target. And the field nice and chipper. Schofield on strike has 6. Davidson Richards has 3. And that is the end of the power play. Fielding restrictions lifted. And Phoebe Graham to bowl, changing ends. Now at this City end and running in, racing in past the umpire. A little bit of width to Schofield. Plenty of bat speed, works it out to deep cover and takes 1. As Michael mentioned, back into action on Bank Holiday Monday. Hopefully we'll have lots of children in attendance for that one. Western Storm, the opponents at Beckenham. Always generates a lot of noise when you have youngsters. I'm hoping that I might bring my youngsters to sample the atmosphere. They love their cricket, getting into it, enjoying it more and more. And watching all of these stars of the current and future. Davidson Richards plays a shot high up into the air, plenty of elevation. Out it goes to straight deep mid wicket. They pick up 2. Risk free because it was hit high up into the air, but no fielders in close proximity.
Worth remembering in ADR you are watching someone with a test century for England in her only ever test innings.
Which seems remarkable for a player of that quality. Davidson Richards looking to try and hit the ball down the ground. I think we do need to counter that by saying that there is plenty of stock, lots of players wanting to put their hands up for international honours. You look at Sophia Dunkley, another one out of the national limelight at the moment, and we know how good she is. 1 of 3 wickets to fall so far. 31 for 3 is the score as Davidson Richards looks to try and drill one down the ground. Fielding is carried out at mid-on, no thoughts of a single.
Really good pressure here so far, and at the moment it's Fee Morris's knock in particular that's the difference between the 2 power plays.
Morris was very, very aggressive up front, looking to score those runs as Davidson Richards, tennis style, just hits the ball down the ground to the fielder who set back at long on. They take 1. Lots of people just looking on. You can understand why there are some pensive faces all around. The vast majority home fans and wanting South East Stars to profit. 32 for 3 the score. Here is the final ball of the 7th over, and Paige Schofield has picked up a much needed boundary. That gent looked to be right behind it, out there just backward a square on the leg side, and it's gone through his arms, and 4 more runs have been picked up. 4 willing runs to Paige Schofield. She's hit that ball very nicely, picked the gap. And good to see that boundary picked up. Takes the score on to 36 for 3, 7 overs bowled.
As mentioned previously, this is a side in Thunder who last season got to finals day for the first time in their history and managed that in the T20 format, predominantly built off being a very tenacious and impressive bowling unit. And about to come on is one of the signings of women's cricket last season, making the move to Thunder. Fee Morris, so impressive with bat in hand, with ball in hand, and also is someone who off the field uses her voice in a very positive way. And having smashed 41 off 26, she's now going to try and make a difference with her offies. Doesn't tend to give too much flight, as very clever use of variations. Is one of the most economical spinners in T20 last season.
Here is Morris to start her set and bowls just outside off stump to Davidson Richards, who uses that bottom hand to turn it into the leg side. A dot to start. Schofield just signals to Davidson Richards what to expect. Everybody tends to know with all of the technology available. This one drilled down the ground, and the fielding is carried out at long on, only a single again.
Yeah, they'll have been all too aware in their analysis what Fee Morris is likely to do with the ball. More difficult to actually work out a plan to try and get after a very disciplined white ball spinner.
Yep, and to pick the variation, Seren Smale, the fielder again, as the ball is worked down to long leg once more. Schofield this time picking up the single, and Davidson Richards is back onto strike.
Ticked over nicely in the winter as well from a spell playing club cricket in Australia with captain Frelkeld.
Morris to continue. This one hit slightly uppish. Out it goes to the fielder at straight mid-wicket. They take one. So again, just looking to try and knock the ball around, a dot to start, and then the 3 singles. The rate just a shade over 5 and over. The run rate required will continue to lift. It's up to 8.19 as this time they take another single. They've got to run that quickly. And in fairness to Schofield, she is quick across the ground and was going to the danger end.
Yeah, that is one way that I can try and put pressure on Morris. Thoroughly experienced 30-year-old who's been around for a long time on the English women's domestic cricket scene.
Morris at the top of her mark and bowling to Davidson Richards. Richards just works the ball out here to the fielder at straight mid-wicket. They're going to pick up one. Lister quickly in. It means ADR will keep the strike. 8 overs gone. 41 for 3.
Well, that's classic Morris. 5 singles off the over. It's whistled for it. It's gone by in a flash. Fee Morris, who's worn a lot of different hats in her time. Gloucestershire, Berkshire, Hampshire, Welsh Fire, Manchester Originals and Oxfordshire as well.
We're going to see Laura Jackson here. So 5 bowlers used.
Jackson, of course, dropped Smith in the very first over of the reply and then caught her to get rid of her later on in the very same over. Jackson will bowl her medium paces, has good change-ups as well.
Here is Jackson bowling to Davidson Richards, who's working it leg side, takes one, will come back for the second. It might race away to the boundary's edge anyway, and it has. 4 more runs to the South East Stars. We'll just get the chance to see the replay. Plenty of bat speed. It just evaded the fielder. It was a good chase, decent chase, looking to try and cut it off. Fee Morris was the fielder there, who's just finished that last over. But a good start to Jackson's first. Her first ball goes for a boundary. And just 5 away from the half century now. Driving down the ground is Davidson Richards. She'll take a single and settle for that. Schofield going along at a runner ball. Davidson Richards doing likewise. The 3 wickets to fall so far. Bryony Smith caught Jackson, bowled Norris for 1. Dunkley caught Heap, bowled Graham for 11. And then of course we saw Tash Farrant as the bowling continues, and Paige Schofield this time goes leg side and works the ball down to fine leg, where they take one and settle into the 9th over. And I think that's a very salient point that you mentioned, Michael. It does go so quick. You can really chew up these overs, and suddenly you're thinking to yourself, we're requiring north of 8 and over, and you're looking at some boundaries, and maybe that pressure just intensifies a wee bit. 47 for 3 the score. This has been hit high up into the air by Davidson Richards, and it's going to go into the grandstand, or towards the grandstand, for the first 6 of the innings. It brings up the half century, and it's what Davidson Richards can do. She's got plenty of power. We'll just get the chance to have another look, and this is a good shot, Michael.
It's overpitched. It's a half volley.
But still got to be put away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the problem when you're defending a relatively low total. You only need 1 or 2 big overs like this one, and it can completely change the complexion of the contest.
Davidson Richards, the one change coming into this game. The pressure now back on Jackson, who bowls to her, and you have to say that's a very good comeback, just outside off stump with the wicket-keeper standing up. Michael mentioned about how impressive Ellie Threlkeld is wearing the gloves. We saw it on that occasion. 1 to go. She's gone for 12 so far. It's been an expensive over with the 2 boundaries. 53 for 3. The 9th over just about to end. Davidson Richards will think to herself, that I can be content here. Any runs we pick up are a bonus. She might look to try and keep the strike, proving to be the aggressor. What's going to happen? It's a slower ball. Into the surface it goes. They take one. I think they'll settle for that as it goes out towards deep mid-wicket. Davidson Richards moves on to 21. The score to 54 for 3, 9 gone.
So that over's gone for 13, and that's dragged the run rate back up to a runner ball. You can see the worm catching up, and it's worth bearing in mind that Thunder also, from the second half of their innings onwards, actually scored at under a runner ball. They de-accelerated as time went on. Nobody else quite found their timing like the person with the ball in her hand now. Fee Morris, one of the most economical bowlers in this competition last season, whirring away here.
Morris will take us to the halfway stage, and coming down the ground is Davidson Richards. The fielder dives over it. It works out to or down to long leg, and they take one, and they have to settle for one. Davidson Richards, you just feel he's just getting into the groove here.
Required run rate by no means out of control, of course, at 7.8.
Davidson Richards cooking along nicely. Schofield keeping her good company. They'll just pick another single here as it works out into the mid-wicket region.
Realistically, 10-game group stage, top 4 into the semi-finals. Probably need 7 wins to guarantee yourself a semi-final spot.
And continuing and working the ball out to deep mid-wicket. Good bit of work out there in the deep. Danny Collins does the fielding, but they're back for 2 safely.
If you are just thinking, hang on a minute, 8 regions, 10 games, yep. It's not quite a linear format. Slightly unusual. You play 4 teams once, you play 3 teams twice.
Both teams getting underway with a win as Morris continues and driving to mid-wicket again, where the fielding is carried out by the bowler. Quickly off her mark and running into the ring there to stop any thoughts of a second. Not that there would have been one. There wasn't too much in the way of connection and power onto that shot. Cranes in the distance, plenty of work going on all around Beckenham.
Field changing here. Fine leg is coming into a pretty much bang on a cow corner, almost a very wide mid-on.
Morris to continue, 2 to go in this over as Schofield works the ball backward a square on the leg side. They take 1, and that's all they're going to get. Good bit of fielding. They have fielded well. Both sides have, in fairness, in this game so far.
Yeah, but there's probably a heightened scrutiny on it because this is, in terms of boundary size, one of the biggest boundary sizes in the women's game, particularly square of the wicket.
20 to 5 in the afternoon. Where else would you want to be than watching the South East Stars take on Lancashire Thunder? As we see another single, Davidson Richards is quickly through. It means she'll keep the strike again. 26 from 21, ticking nicely. Schofield keeping her good company. 79 to win, 60 balls remaining. There is the scorecard. Smith out for 1, caught Jackson, bowled Norris. Dunkley caught Heat, bowled Graham for 11. Farrant was caught Morris, bowled Jones for 5. Schofield not out 16. Davidson Richards has 26. Commentary for the next 5 overs, and you feel they could be crucial to Michael McCann.
Thank you, Jamie. And that partnerships graph reflects it nicely. So 25 for 3. Stars were in a bit of a pickle, but Davidson Richards in particular has pushed something into the chase in terms of energy and scoring rate. Took on Jackson well in the last over from this end, the City end, where there's been a change of bowling. Now Jackson's come off, having gone for 13 off her 1, and it's Jones. Davidson Richards makes room and absolutely crashes that through extra cover. So it's another boundary for Davidson Richards, who is really taking on and changing the dynamics of this game. That's a lovely shot, and that asks some questions of Jones. Davidson Richards, with her fancy footwork, stepping out, makes Rachael think about her field, and it is going to force a change in the field. So long on has gone back, and now cover has come up. Square leg, deep mid wicket, and long on out on the leg side. What does Davidson-Richards do now? Now again she's making room, jamming it into her pad. And it's Davidson-Richards who's talked in her own words about how I play my best when I'm having the most fun and in a relaxed frame of mind. She certainly seems in that headspace here. Slog sweeps, and there's no coverage behind square, so that's 4 more. This is very clever batting from Alice Davidson-Richards. A second boundary of the over. She really does look in brilliant touch. Well, she scored almost half of the runs in the innings for the South East Stars, and she came out at number 5 with the score 25 for 3. 24 for 3 in fact. And has got that away as well past short fine leg. This will be 4 more. Stirring stuff from Alice Davidson-Richards. 3 fours from 4 balls faced in this over. She's absolutely flying, and this is danger for Thunder. When you're defending a score on the lower side of things in 140, you only need a couple of overs to go against you. That required run rate is dipped. Davidson-Richards not too long on, and they are going to hustle 2 here, and they'll get back with relative comfort. And up comes the 50 partnership.
And ADR's got 40 off them.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going to as well. It is 50 partnership that is brought up off 34 deliveries. Now Slog sweeps hard, straight to deep square leg. She'll keep the strike, and she's taken 15 off that over from Jones. That has really put a dent in the equation in a positive sense from the Stars. You can see that worm ticking up very significantly, and Thunder have got to find an answer, and they've realistically got to find a way to get Alice Davidson-Richards out, because you can't really foresee any way were she to bat through that they would somehow fall short. It will be fascinating to see where Falcao and Thunder go with their bowling options here. It looks like they're going to try Jackson from the Beckenham end, also known as the Crystal Palace end. She bowled 1 over from the City end, where she was hit for 13 from the over, including the only 6 of the innings, and indeed the only 6 of the match so far. Got square leg out as this deep mid wicket and long on, and then deep cover on the offside. Davidson-Richards tries to get clever. That's magnificent keeping from Frelkeld. Do not underestimate how distracting that is when you've got a batter in front of you moving around like this. Gets across and takes it cleanly, and then in classic Frelkeld fashion is looking for the stumping. Full. Mistimed, and a bit of fortune there for Davidson-Richards. Re-rehearsing the shot that she meant to play. He's meaning that to go in the gap at extra cover.
Slower one, wasn't it? She didn't really pick it.
Schofield, you'd imagine, would primarily just want a single. Get Davidson-Richards back on strike. Well, it's a horrible full toss, and instead she's done exactly what you should do with a delivery like that, which is thump it away. Bit of a cross-court forehand from Schofield, trying to capitalise on the error from Jackson. Here's a no ball as well. Thunder not helping themselves, but this partnership growing for Stars, and growing nicely.
Jackson not finding it easy here. In fairness, Tara Norris very good up front. You look at some of the other bowlers, they've not found it quite so easy. And suddenly, when they got a little bit circumspect with those 3 wickets in fairly quick succession, these two have found a great partnership.
Short, hit hard out to deep mid wicket, and that's 4 more. So Jackson, having changed ends, is struggling from this end as well. It's a lovely shot from Schofield, who generally has been playing second fiddle to the Alice Davidson-Richards show, but he's now very much coming to the party herself. Back-to-back boundaries for Schofield.
And these last couple of overs have really changed it. It's now less than a run a ball, or around a run a ball, isn't it, the required rate?
Short, and this is out to deep square leg for 1. So it is, as you alluded to, it's back almost under a run a ball, which shows you how quickly things can change. That expensive over from Jones, and then Jackson struggling to keep a lid on things. Short, slightly mistimed. Will be just 1 out to deep square leg. Still 1 ball of this expensive over to go. It has conceded 12. Thinking to do for Frelkeld about where Thunder go to break this partnership. Stars, as is the modern way, will just want to keep their foot on the accelerator pedal. And that's a wide, so that will have to be rebowled as well. Worth saying, net run rate is really important here as well. That could end up being the difference between a semi-final spot and not having one at the end of it all, after this 10-game Charlotte Edwards Cup campaign. First versus fourth and second versus third. That's the way things will go on the 22nd of June. Lovely looking drive out to deep cover to finish an expensive over that ends up conceding 14. So 90 for 3 off 12. Really noticeable acceleration in the last few overs from Stars. That one has gone for 14. The over from Jones went for 15. After 10 overs, the South East Stars were 61 for 3. They were actually 23 runs behind where Thunder were at that stage and had lost 2 more wickets, but of course Thunder really struggled in the second half of their innings, and Davidson-Richards has really got things kicking along here.
Fee Morris to come back, and she's going to change ends.
Well, it's understandable that Frelkeld would look to Morris. The most experienced, impressive bowlers. That's dribbled away for 1 more. It's now about wickets of Thunder rather than containment.
Has Norris got 1 left?
Norris, I believe, does have 1 left.
Yeah, I think she's bowled 3 up front. I think you've got to be looking to...
Certainly does have 1 left. 1 for 13 off 3. Full toss.
Gone.
And straight back. Well, Alice Davidson-Richards will be furious with herself. She's played some absolutely glorious cricket shots, and then she has managed to deposit a full toss straight back to Fee Morris, who cannot believe her luck. Morris takes the catch, and Alice Davidson-Richards has to go after an excellent innings that's been a joy to watch.
It really has. A disappointing way to get out, but she has changed the context of this game. You were wondering just where South East Stars will go. Phoebe Franklin has certainly got a much better platform to come in on than what Alice Davidson-Richards found when she came in. That really is a whirlwind innings. 49 to win from 46. Take a real good hand there. She deserves a rapturous round of applause, and she got it. Very well played, Alice Davidson-Richards.
43 off 31, the highest score of the match so far, just above the 41 off 27 that Fee Morris made at the top of the innings for Thunder, and of course it was Morris who ended that Davidson-Richards innings. Now here's Franklin, who is a Loughborough University graduate, a Northern Supercharger, has played for Kent as well, has come through the system in this part of the world. Has played for the Birmingham Phoenix as well. Franklin just pushes that one back, and Now Thunder will really fancy their chances of getting some tight overs in here and putting a lid back on things. Confident way to get off the mark from Franklin. Worth bearing in mind, I mentioned net run rate could be used as a tiebreaker when it comes to a semi-final spot after this 10-game league phase. There is, of course, a run rate thing. If the Stars could finish this particularly quickly, might be less possible now that Davidson Richards is out. Into the pads, and not out. Possibly sliding down with the turn and with the slope as well. So you can see that slope that runs from left to right as we're looking at things there. Morris is having a good chuckle about something. Game face back on now as Morris hunts another wicket. Straight to backward point, run out chance. And that's gone. Very smart work in the field from Thunder. And that's just what the South East Stars did not need. Phoebe Franklin is run out for just one. It always looked to a really tight single. Frelkeld smart with the gloves, as is the modern way, taking the ball in front of the stumps. And even from our position, not even close to side on. You could see that she was short. A dicey single. I need the single as well, really, given the required run rate. So 92 for 5. And this has the potential to turn into a low-scoring thriller. You could see the worm there when Alice Davidson Richards was in, really kicking up. And then it's just been dragged back by those wickets. So Iris Cranstone, who yours truly has nicknamed the Pocket Rocket, due to her slightly diminutive nature, but also the fact that she's an explosive, really impressive batter, very stylish, really good to watch, offers something very different in the middle order. Top scored for the South East Stars in that win by 4 runs against Storm in their T20 opener. Speaking of explosive cricketers, Liberty Heap's going to bowl her off spin. Starts with a drag down that is absolutely deposited 10 yards back over the rope for 6. That's the kind of momentum Stars needed. It's a loosener from Heap that goes the distance.
Yep, not the first, or not the kind of ball you want to bowl first up, put away by Schofield with clinical ease. It was just banged into the surface and put away clinically. Very impressive. Schofield on to 33.
Short again, and it's another slightly dicey looking single, and Frelkeld didn't actually take off the bails.
Cranstone's very quick.
Cranstone is very quick. We're very much not side on. This is on the far side of the ground from us, but this looked tight as well. Cranston just hesitated for a second. If you watch Frelkeld here, she actually misses the stumps, and had she managed to flick that bail off, looks to me like Alice Cranstone might have been short.
I think it would have been very close. Cranstone is very quick. She had that back grounded, but you're right, she did miss removing the bails.
Now Cranston has been in plenty of precious situations for Stars this season. She played a gem of an innings that nearly got them over the line against the Northern Diamonds in that high-scoring game here. Heat coming right on around to the lefty. Pulled out to deep mid-wicket for 1. Interesting choice of bowling Heap here as the 100 comes up midway through the 14th. I understand why. It's because with Jackson going for 27 off 2, Frelkeld needs to find 2 overs from her 5th bowler. So that's 4. Beautiful extra cover drive from Schofield for 4. Save your legs. Barely has to move. Knew she'd pick the gap perfectly. And this over's now gone for 12 off 4.
And this game's not going to go the distance if they continue to bowl like that. And that makes me think sometimes you do need to have another look at your openers. I understand why you've got to try and get extra bowlers into the game, but this hasn't proved to be a good exercise. 12 so far from 4.
Full toss, and that's gone for 4 as well. Make it 16 off 5. This is good cricket from Paige Schofield, knowing that Heap's on and that this is Thunder looking to work their way through their 5th bowler. You can see Fee Morris just coming across to put arms on the shoulders of Heap and just try and calm her down as she tries to get out of the over. Down the ground, better ball, fielded by Smell at long on. So that over's gone for 17, and the assault has continued. So in the last 4 overs, it's quite extraordinary this. In the last 4 overs, the South East Stars have scored 43 runs. They might have lost Alice Davidson-Richards, but they've kicked on, and that was clever batting from Schofield. It was a calculated gamble from Frelkel because she's got her 4 frontline bowlers, Norris, Jones, Graham and Morris, and then would have looked at Jackson as part of that to complete the set of 5. Jackson went for 27 off 2, so she turned to Heap, who's gone for 17 off her 1. So the question for Frelkel is, where does she go now? Morris is going to bowl out, 1 for 14 off her 3 so far, so that makes sense. And as Jamie Reid was calling for, alongside yours truly, Michael McCann, it might be time for Norris to come back and finish off. Short, smashed away by Schofield. That's into the gap. It's a very rare bad ball from Fee Morris. Capitalised on beautifully, and in the blink of an eye, Paige Schofield only needs 1 more boundary for her 50.
Well, we did say this will be the crucial set, the 5 between 10 and 15, and it's proven to be the case.
Morris has got to use all their experience to fight her way back into this over, having gone for a boundary off the first. Full toss, has got away with that, straight to deep square leg for 1. Fee Morris, who off the field has talked, is a great ambassador for the LGBTQ plus community that I'm proud to be a part of, and has also admitted that seeking counselling through the Professional Cricketers Trust saved her life. She's talked very openly about her mental health challenges, and that's a great example for youngsters coming through in the game. On the field, he's trying to drag Thunder back into this contest. He's working out how she's going to shape up to the left-handed Cranstone. He's going to come right arm around. She'll fancy herself against a left-hander. Any off-spinner does, turning the ball away. It's often a good match-up for the bowler. Cranstone goes to sweep. Umpire Peveril says going down leg. He's taking the ball from left to right, but going to need more than just that gentle slope in your favour as an off spinner to get an LBW from right arm around the wicket. Calmly played out by Cranston. Knows that right now with Schofield in the form that she's in, you just give Schofield a strike and leave it to her. 25 to win off 32.
In fairness, she played second fiddle, didn't she, to Alice Davidson-Richards, but then she will put anybody in the shade the way she was blazing it around. Schofield has really kept it going and accelerated.
Short and smashed away. Almost went for 6 to that massive square boundary. What a way to bring up 50 for Paige Schofield. 52 off just 32. She has carried on the momentum that Alice Davidson-Richards first provided. She gets there with her 7th 4 to go with a 6 as well. Charging towards victory for the Stars.
Was a match-winning knock, make no doubt about that.
Certainly should be a match-winning knock. Short, and this time rocks back and hits it straight to cover point. The sweeper for 1. Worth reminding you, that over has gone for 11, an unusually expensive over for Morris, who has still conceded just 25 and picked up a wicket from her 4 overs. 120 for 5 off 15 then. That we're back here on Monday. Stars home against the Western Storm, and then 4 days later the Stars are away at the Diamonds. And then June brings 6 more Charlotte Edwards Cup games in a row. Home against the Vipers, away against the Sunrisers, home against the Sparks on the Sunday the 9th, home against the Sunrisers on Saturday the 15th, away against the Blaze the day after on Sunday the 16th, and then the block of 10 Charlotte Edwards Cup games finishes on the 19th of June, away against the Vipers. Phoebe Graham back on. Graham has just Graham has 2 left, I beg your pardon. 1 for 12 of her 2 thus far.
5 to go, 20 more runs needed. Well done, Michael. Very impressive for the South East Stars, your contribution there. This one just outside off stump, and the batter Schofield will feel that she's maybe missed out here. 53 from 34, seeing it like a football at the moment. You can see the worm ahead of the ahead of the line now, and when you consider that there were 3 wickets to fall late on for Thunder, it does put Stars in a real dominant position, especially when you've got a batter very well set. Schofield this time going leg side. Oh, it's an attempted catch. You could see exactly why she went for it, but fortunately Fee Morris wasn't able to get there, and it runs away to the boundary's edge for 4 more runs, and they're getting ever closer. Great power. It was a valiant effort, in fairness, from Fee Morris. You can see she's frustrated, but now the runs required down to 16, and there's 28 balls in which to chase them down, and that puts the Stars in a real dominant position to make it 2 from 2. A reminder, they beat Western Storm by 4 runs in Bristol on Sunday. Back in action on Bank Holiday Monday. There'll be a good crowd for that one. Slight change in the field, square leg comes up. And Graham, who's been expensive, 1 for 16 so far. In fact, not too bad figures when you look at it, but she's conceded another boundary here. She's gone from 8 or 4-8 from the last 2. You can see why they've looked to try and ring the changes, but it hasn't really worked because Schofield has been so impressive. Here's a chance just to have another look at this one. Leg side onto the pads of Schofield, and she's put it away with great accuracy and good power. And suddenly the charge is on for victory. 128 for 5 is the score. What's Graham got this time? She bowls to Schofield, who's coming down the track. It's going to evade the fielder. 1 bounce. Seren Smell could get nowhere near it, and it just races over the boundary's edge, and suddenly it's only 8 more runs required. We've got 26 balls in which to chase them down. They're in a hurry to win this one, the Stars.
Yep, and they absolutely should be, because net run rate doesn't care about how many wickets you lose, and if their run rate is 1.25 or better than Thunder's, they'll actually pick up 5 points for this win rather than 4 to the table. So they're rightly doing it in a hurry.
And of course we saw Thunder pick up the 5 points. They did that in their first outing when they beat Northern Diamonds by 8 wickets. Here is Graham to continue. 2 to go in the over again. Plenty of bat speed as this races away. Should be another boundary, and suddenly they're within a boundary of winning this one. Just 4 runs needed for victory now. Let's have a little look at this again. A little bit of width on offer. Plenty of bat speed. Beating that inner ring and racing away down the hill for another boundary. Schofield, 69 from 38. It's been the best knock of the game so far. 1 more boundary does it.
They have added 75 here in 5.5 overs. They were at 61 at halfway, and that was when Davidson Richards launched, and then Schofield launched. It's been an extraordinary assault from that point onwards, from ADR and then Schofield.
It really has. Very impressive, the partnership there we saw. You look at all of those partnerships, 44 put on between these two, 67 the best of the innings so far and the best of the game, Schofield and Davidson Richards. But this is a very, very good hand between these two. Schofield a boundary away, 136 for 5 is the score. She's gone leg side, that's going to race away, and they've done it. They've won by 5 wickets, and they've done it in clinical style at the end. Schofield 73 from 39. What a hand it's been. We saw Alice Davidson-Richards scoring runs for fun, but Paige Schofield has surely put herself in contention to be player of the match. It's been a wonderful contribution, this, and let's not forget both of these sides won, and certainly it was Thunder who won convincingly in their opening game, taking 5 points against Northern Diamonds. But South East Stars have had their moments where maybe they've just stuttered a wee bit, but they've been very, very impressive here, and they've won it with 24 balls to spare. South East Stars reaching their victory required target for the loss of 5 wickets. Paige Schofield finishing 73 not out. What a day it's been, Michael McCann.
Yep, a ruthless run chase after a very slow start, having reached 24 for 3. Stars would have been pretty nervous, but then the Alice Davidson-Richards show kicked into life, and after she'd gone, Paige Schofield provided the encore. So 2 wins from 2, and it's a long campaign. You're not going to win anything at this stage. 10 games the group stage, but this is the only time they'll meet Thunder. You play some teams once, others twice, but 7 wins from 10 should all but guarantee you a semi-final spot. 6 wins may yet end up being enough depending on how things fall, and the Stars have made an excellent start. They'll be back here against the Western Storm on Monday to try and make it 3 from 3, but for now they've won by 5 wickets with 4 overs to spare.
Very, very impressive. Michael, thanks very much indeed. The Stars comfortable victors, and we'll see you all again on Monday. From Michael McCann and myself, Jamie Reid, thanks for joining us for the live stream. We'll see you again very soon. Enjoy your evening.
3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 13. Hannah Jones, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 26. Phoebe Graham, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 32. B. Morris, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 25.